we will continue in the book of Revelation. Sounds better, right? So even a German Christian knows what this is, that's why they look, right? That's what they know. Okay, Israeli hornet. Okay. Because that's actually a real relic, if you will, right? Because that's what they used, so to speak. Okay, but in the land of Israel there's a lot of fake, of course, right? But you can fake everything, okay? This is my sign to start white, okay? So the symbol I think you can fake it, the sound you can fake it if I'm able to make the sound white at one point. Hope so. Yeah, so we continue in chapter 3. And unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, these things said he that had the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and art dead. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain, that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Thou hast a few names even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. Okay. And I will not blot out his name of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He that had an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. And the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things said he that is holy, he that is true, he that had the key of David, he that opened it, no man shut it, and no man opened. I know thy works, behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it, for thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews. You see, that's the spirit, because we just talked about the synagogue of Satan in Israel, Yashawalam, Yawashalam, Yawashalam, Shalom, Yawashalam. Yeah, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. You have not just 1948ers like that, you have also different other nations showing that behavior. For example, I saw a Japanese group, but it's long time ago, okay, which they number themselves as the 144,000. They looked a little bit like a military group, you know, they standing all together feet by feet. But it was a long time ago. Maybe I bring in confusion with in that, so that's how I have to stop talking about that. long time ago. I don't even remember all the details and where it was. It was YouTube. But even if you have in every country, you have at least one elect Hebrew Israelite of the 100, so to speak, 144,000 out of every tongue, nation, you see, and so on. So despite all these strange behaving people, liars, so to speak, there's always a few truth behind. Yeah, it wasn't recording, so I have to record again. And we will read from verse 1, chapter 5. And I saw the right hand of him that sat on the throne, a book written within and on the backside. Yeah, we was talking about every nation, every tongue, every kindred, every out of every country there's always somebody wherever you are, somebody holy. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, had prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat on the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sang a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood, and out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Yeah, that is of course already what I was talking about. Blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign over the earth, on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, hear I saying, Blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him that liveth forever and ever. And I saw, chapter 6, when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, and of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. And when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, I heard the voice, the 3rd beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice and the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Dead, and hell followed him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said to them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also, and their brethren that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken. Of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said unto the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Yeah, which I talked about it. You have a lot of rich people, like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeffrey Epstein, and whatsoever names they have. Okay, some we don't know the names. They're already building bunkers since, or for years already. Okay, for centuries, decades. I mean, okay, for decades already. And like we was reading, nobody is safe, but of course, okay, as some normal person, okay, in your country, you can't build bunkers like that, especially not big bunkers like that, right? So this is chapter 7, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel, which of course, you know, doesn't mean yourself if you have bunker, but it's just what I checked on YouTube. Okay. So there's even Steph on where the bunkers at to protect basically their bunkers. So Elon Musk, I don't know, but I just know about some people that they are about to make their bunkers ready all the way to the end, right? Yeah. And I saw another angel. Basically, they want to protect themselves from third world war or nuclear threats or whatever. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the sea and the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zabulon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zabulon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Yeah, which this is, of course, another verse that basically says what I just said. Basically, you have every kindred, every tongue, and every country. Even if it doesn't say every country, you have all nations, which is every country, so to speak. All nations basically goes back to the nations that came out of Noah, right? The nations of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay. So this is the real nations, but today, of course, you have a name for every nation, okay? Which most Ammonites, for example, don't even live in Japan. Maybe, who knows, right? Or most. So whatever those country names are, it doesn't need to be the necessary truth, okay? I don't know. You have, and this is really, I don't talk about Björn Höcke. Again, I told you the last time, so I will not do it, but to live somewhere doesn't have anything to do with your DNA, okay, but yeah, if you go by names, of course, then you have of course a lot of Hamites still living in Africa, but you have also a lot of Germans, for example, living in Africa. You have a lot of Germans in Africa speaking better African languages than myself. I know even a lot of Germans that can speak the country, for example, where my father comes from. They speak that language perfect. Okay, because they maybe were raised there. Okay, I spoke with people that are so-called German or whatever. Okay, being raised or born there. Okay, and I was born in Munich, for example. So it's a mix of how you was raised, where you was born, and what your DNA is. Okay, but these people nowadays, okay, they basically go by country names, for example, okay? But my country name, for example, doesn't say a lot about me, okay? It just says that I was born in Bavaria, for example, okay? I was born in Bavaria, but it doesn't say, okay, what my cultural background is, okay, so to speak. Yeah. Chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne, and on their faces, and worshipped God, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen. And on one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any. Yeah, and for example, if you have blonde-haired people, if you go by what Hitler, for example, believed or said, then blonde-haired people have to be Shem, you know, the Shem or the real Noah Shemite descendants are blue-eyed blonde people. I told you last time where blue eyes come from, or what they have to come from, how they came. There are black people, so-called, with blue eyes, so it's not a special thing anymore. Okay, I told you about the mixture, but if you go by that, then I believe those are from this Assyrian. Okay, so you have Assyrians. Even if you go back to the Bible, you see a lot of Assyrian history having to do with blonde-haired people or lighter colored hair. Okay, so it makes no sense to think that you have to be blonde hair or whatever to be German whatsoever. Okay, especially the more you go back in time, it doesn't have anything to do with hair color or skin color. Okay, this is really stupid. And then you have countries where you go by certain things like family structures, marriage between families, and these things still exist, right? And guess what? Sometimes they have to do with outer appearance, sometimes not. Okay, but there are a lot of differences, which I just go by science, not by what I see. Okay, I just go by science. It doesn't matter what. A lot of science is also kept back from us, and a lot of science is also holding. Basically, like the sea, for example. The sea makes a lot of, if you will, a lot of content on the earth. Okay, the sea is a lot of content on the earth. It takes a big part in the earth general. What was it, 60 or 80%? I don't know, percentage. But we maybe just know 1%. Okay, correct me on that. We just know 1 or 10 or something, right? So most science on this earth right now, as we speak, especially neurological and psychological science, is either holding back from you, which means not public, or not even around. Okay. Can't. But that doesn't mean that it don't exist. Okay. And this is why I say I live by science, not by what I see. Okay, because there of course has to be more than what we see. Yeah. Forever amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light upon them, nor any heat, for the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Chapter 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And also, if you go by science, you don't have to cry for or on anything, okay? Because that's just science, okay? And another angel came and stood, as long as it is in your control. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which I believe crying is weak, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the dirt part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. Yeah, that shows maybe also a little bit how you can always have an overdose when it comes to these things. You don't drive a car because you think the climate change will grow too big, when even if whole Germany would start tomorrow to forbid all cars, even then doesn't mean that other countries go just with it. Okay, they just do the same, doesn't mean that. So there's always this evil left over, okay, which always also comes with that, which means anyway it will be fucked up, this planet Earth, okay, before it can get good. Like for example America, okay, or any country which will eat a missile, okay. Yeah, but there's of course nothing bad to, if you don't want to drive a car, then don't do it. Okay, if you want to be vegan, then do it, but stay informed and study what it really means, okay, and if it's really good for you or not, I would say, okay. That's just what I think, okay. Because, yeah, it will anyway, you see, and the second angel sounded, the second trumpet, right, chapter 7, verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and there were, as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the dirt part of the sea became blood. And the dirt part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the dirt part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the dirt part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the dirt part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Yeah, maybe the sea is already fucked up, okay? Not because of silver, but because of the trash that people put in. There's a good movie, Korean movie, but I think that's also a little bit overdosing the matter. So we we know already that the sea is fucked up, but with the right studies, you can even get good fish out of the sea still in 2026, and you can eat good fish still in 2026. And also it would be interesting to go into that word wormwood, but depends also, right? when you was last time maybe going into that word. So maybe it's a good time for next time to go into that word. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 which woe means destruction. For those who don't know, woe is just like you have it in the Hebrew and in the English, just another term for Hebrew root word, which Hebrew is basically, when it comes to the function, it has different meanings to it. So there's one term for different meanings, right? So woe means basically destruction. So also we could read with a loud voice, destruction, destruction, destruction to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. And people, or basically, people in general, right? So that doesn't mean, okay, how you look, what nation you are, okay, if you're Hebrew Israelite or not, doesn't matter if you don't have the truth, if you don't believe in the truth. So this goes for young and old, this goes for rich and pure, okay, this goes for everybody. Chapter 9, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven onto the earth, and unto him was given the key of the bottomless pit, which this is, the bottomless pit is also Apollo, right, which is the, correct me on that if you can, Apollo, which is the what is it called? Which is the first, okay, the chief of the underworld, if you will. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. So basically you have the underworld looking like the real world in those days, which also you would say the fifth angel, as a title you have here the fifth trumpet, which I don't like titles, but I rather go by the text, not by titles. So of course this just means the fifth angel, the sound of the fifth angel, which you just saw the trumpet that I used, which is a hornet that they used back then. But I can tell you if this is a trumpet in the form of a hornet, material, substance, or in a real trumpet. Maybe it's a golden trumpet rather, or a golden hornet at least. Who knows, but And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them was, actually there was a time here in Germany where I first heard that these machines, don't mean actual scorpions walking around killing people, but rather, for example, you have snake tails or scorpion tails, which are long smoke that follow a ICBM missile when it flies to the air, for example. Okay. This is just one example how the Bible really speaks, right? And I remember when I first heard that, I was wondering, if that's possible, and what this human being, what this dude really meant by that, because it just sounds awkward. Right? It sounds awkward if you read something, but he says basically something different, or he interprets it like something completely different. Okay, when it reads scorpion and you say it means a tail out of smoke, then of course you might wonder, but this is actually what GMS Great Millstone is also teaching, the elders and apostles. Okay, that these things really mean weapons and their specific way how they function. Okay. What I always say, what I always would add is, okay, also if we talk about UAPs or UFOs, that back in time, okay, especially the Masoretes, for example, okay, who translated the Bible, okay, then you have the Masoretes, the Hebrew translated into the English, and the later you go back, the more you see that there were no terms like UFO. Even the term or the word UFO is really something new. Okay, especially UAP, the term unidentified aerial phenomenon, is of course something completely new and something invented by human beings. That doesn't mean that there never existed things like that before, and that's how you know that a flying roll means or is something to describe a unidentified flying object or unidentified aerial phenomena. And then you have still the ability today to go in the words and you see that it means, or it has to mean, UFO. That's why they had to use these terms to describe, to at least describe it so we at least know what it is. Okay, if there is another way or any other thing that they could have used to give you today the information of unidentified flying objects or scorpions, then please show it to me. If not, then I don't understand why people still think that that the term UFO, UAP, okay, or helicopter, okay, or ICBM missile, you don't even know what ICBM missile means, okay, is in the Bible, okay? So this is of course just another, if you will, twig of those heathens to lead you further astray from the truth. Okay? Which there's a movie, I believe, Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones, I believe, he fights with giant scorpions. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff, lot of movie stuff out there where you have actual real scorpions, which further fits into those diabolical misconcepts, okay, misconceptions and deceivings and tricks, okay, because if you see movies like that, it makes you believe that the Bible is actually talking about big scorpions or giant scorpions, okay, people fighting giant scorpions, which I don't know, maybe there are giant scorpions in this earth as we speak, okay, there are a lot of hidden things, and also beasts new created, but yeah, there are some things that you have to interpret different than what it actually reads. Okay. Yes. And in those days shall man seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were, breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt man 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Yeah, like I said, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon. Okay, but in the Greek tongue had his name Apollyon. Yeah, also something interesting to go into, Abaddon. Okay, Abaddon. Okay, and then you have the other, which these are angels of Satan. The other term in the Greek, which is Apollyon. Okay, Apollyon. Okay, yeah, you can already imagine. Okay, the Greek manuscripts where you had these names being figured out. Okay, Apollyon. 1 woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So there will come 2 destruction after the 2 destructions that already had taken place, which is World War I and World War II. Okay. Yeah. Which I believe, if you really believe in the truth, it might look a little bit scary in the beginning, or what happens. Okay. For example, I'm somebody, I don't scare stuff. I'm not scary of stuff. More, I hate hypocrisy. Okay, this is something that you can conquer me with hypocrisy, but not with scaring me. Okay. Yeah. Which, to be honest, I don't believe that you can be conquered. But at the same time, being one of those sealed that we was reading. But you can die. But I hope you know that being conquered doesn't mean being to die doesn't mean being conquered. But you can say suicide, being in suicide, doing suicide, you can argue is being conquered. So that's why I say being made dead, so to speak, doesn't mean being conquered. Yeah, but yeah, okay, because this is not an enemy. Okay, this is not Naruto or some shit. God, I say shit because people actually think enemies are there's something real to enemies. Of course, there's some reality in movies and enemies and cartoons and whatsoever, but the reality is still reality. Just making a movie or a scene out of it doesn't add anything to it. Okay, it's just something you can watch with your eyes. Okay. Then you have the elites with their predictive programming, but in any way, it will anyway turn out a little bit more detailed, little bit different than they predictive program it. Okay, so you can say, oh, okay, it happened in that movie before it actually took place in reality, but the reality is much more detailed than a stupid thing that you can see with your eyes looking on a screen. Okay, so of course it's not reality, even if they say it before it happens or whatever the fuck. Okay, who cares? So these people whether think movies and enemies and whatsoever is reality, man. Okay? Fuck is wrong with those people, man. And I watch movies. I don't like enemies so much. I did that when I was younger. Okay, I don't watch enemies anymore. But, I just watch highlights on YouTube fighting highlights. For example, there comes out a new DBC fighting situation or a new character. For example, Black. What is it called? Black. Freezer. the new Black Freezer, right? So if there comes out a fight with new Black Caesar, which maybe it already took place, then I watch those highlights on YouTube. But animes, maybe if there really comes a good anime, but I don't have the time, and also I don't like the drawing style anymore, which they use. So I watch movies, of course, and I watch maybe even an anime in my life again. But what I really mean is, okay, reality is so much more complex than what people want to make it seem, especially those people who have the power to proclaim such things. Okay, you saw nothing, man. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. To herd 5 months, okay, man on earth. And they had a king over them, which was Apollyon, okay? Maybe in German you say Apollo, I don't know. Okay, who cares? It is officially you would say Apollyon, right? So it's best to say Abaddon or Apollyon, not the German name for it, okay? Because even here in the English Bible it's written in the Hebrew and in the Greek name, so why would you now trigger with German or with a German or English name for it? And even the Bible itself, okay, the English translation gives us those beautiful names, okay, directly how they are, just like other names. Of course, it won't give you the name of Jesus Christ in the Bible, it just uses Jesus Christ, but here it gives you the actual name in the Hebrew. Okay, not the real Hebrew, but in the Hebrew. 1 woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. 1 world war is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So we have 3 world wars, which one is already in action. Okay. Today you have a hybrid war, which means you have attacks on the infrastructure, attacks on the IT of a country. You have attacks on the you have social engineering. You have a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. You have robots, flying robots. Okay. You have walking robots, walking robot dogs. You have hyper intelligent, self-automatic flying weapons. Okay. Whole systems flying to the air, not just some stupid rocket. Okay. You have AI, so to speak, AI weapons, AI tanks, okay, AI aircraft, okay. If there is no hand of God already in that stuff, then it would be already a complete destructive situation wherever you are, okay, because the weapons are already here to do stuff like that, okay. But until people die, it's just a big kindergarten here, okay. Basically, leader acting important against leader acting important, when no human being is important, okay. But to keep the commandments and the truth is important, okay. Repentance is important, and serving the Israelites will and is important. Because righteously, truth and righteousness is important. Okay, not evil. You would say evil chess play. Okay, because this world would be already fucked up. Okay. Then you have the sixth trumpet, which I believe we'll read the sixth trumpet to stop at chapter 10, An Angel and Seven Thunders, which is the title. So this is, so to speak, as a title, the sixth trumpet. Okay? Text says, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and day, and a month and a year, for to slay the dirt part of man. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the hands of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three was the dirt part of man killed, by the fire and the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of them, of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver. Yeah, this is really what those country leaders, or in general these elites do. Okay, they don't. It's not reality. It's just being wicked. Okay, I can be wicked starting today. There's nothing special. Okay, about a talent like that. Okay. There's no talent for in that. These plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Yeah, which this what you have built around us is basically just a gathered theft, basically we are surrounded by things that don't really belong to those what it belongs. Yeah, so to speak. You know, so basically this last generation, okay, is creating the future for the next generation. And guess what? You don't create a future for the next generation, okay, if you just go along with all this evil in the moment, okay, which yeah, if you're too rich, okay, what happens often, most likely, okay, is that you are linked also with people who are basically even more evil, so evil to the point where they are those Satanists. And guess what? If you're too rich, then you then you are basically most likely also linked then to evil stuff, okay, murders, who knows, theft, okay. But to be honest, man, I believe in Germany, okay, even this wood here is stolen, man. Everything here, okay, is just a criminal act, man. Ciao.